Dr. Miri, how did the idea of the Institute of Advanced Study come up?
Well, as you know, this used to be the home of the British Viceroys and the British Governor Generals until independence. Then it became the summer home of our presidents. But our first president came here and spent just about 10 days during the entire period of his presidentship. Then when Professor Radhakrishnan became president, he didn't want to come and stay here at all. And in fact, he suggested that the place might be turned into an institute of advanced study for the humanities and the social sciences primarily, but also the sciences. And he thought that this might be modeled on the Institute of Advanced Study at Princeton. And the then Prime Minister, Pandit Nehru, agreed with him. And this building and the entire estate of Viceregal Lodge were gifted to the Institute. That is how the Institute came into being. And our first director is a very...
Dr. Miri, you said two presidents never stayed here. Why do you think they never wanted to stay here?
Well, I think for obvious reasons. This place is associated with the pomp and glory of imperial days, and I don't think our presidents wanted to be associated with that. I think, Rajendra Prasad, for instance, he was a man of such, austere needs. He thought that, this was something which he wouldn't, dream of making use of for his own personal comfort. So I think that is why he didn't come.
This place has been preserved. I mean, can you tell us how this has been preserved, and what are the things that are still here, which used to be there?
Oh yes, we still have many of the things which were there during the British times. For instance, we have lots of items of furniture. We have some excellent furniture of those times, and much of it is preserved. And we have some pictures, and of course this was also the scene of a lot of very, very important political activities and political decision making of those times. For instance, the partition treaty was negotiated here, although it was not signed here, it was negotiated here. And 1946-47, most of our great leaders of our nationalist movement visited this place to attend meetings, conferences, and so on. So we had Jinnah and Gandhi and Nehru staying here at the same time. For instance, we still have the table on which the partition treaty was signed. And of course, the rooms, the room where the negotiations took place, that is, of course, still there, and we make use of it. We have our offices there and so on.
So do you think this place has retained its political and historical significance?
Well, certainly not political significance, certainly historical significance it has retained, because it has seen so much. So many of the very, very vital decisions of the British times were taken here, because they were here for a good part of the year. For I think about 7 months of the year they used to spend here, and therefore most of the decisions were taken here. And so in short, you see, the entire country was ruled from this house. The Governor General, his entire entourage, the Viceroy and his entire entourage. There's a beautiful room here, which is the council chamber, which is now part of our library. That used to be the place where the big meetings used to take place. And historically, therefore, it is very, very important. And now, of course, I think it's the new significance that this place has acquired is its significance as a place of higher learning, basically in the humanities and social sciences. We've had from 1966, when the institute came into being, we've had the very best people in the country come and spend at least some time in the institute. Many of them have come and spent a year, 2 years, 3 years, and did their best work in this place.
So why do you think they come here? What's so special about it?
Well, for scholars in humanities and social sciences, this is about the only place where they can come. You see, our fellows have to be in residence here. They can come, live together here, interact with each other for prolonged periods, and we have seminars. We have people visiting us from all over the world, not just our country, and therefore, it provides a tremendous milieu for which is very stimulating for intellectual life.
One last question. Do you have any interesting reminiscences or any interesting anecdote you want to relate?
Well, I'll tell you one story, which is the story of the ghost of this place. There is a lady ghost who lives in this place. Many people have seen her. Unfortunately, she's headless, so we can't identify her. And she walks down every once in a while during night. She walks down the steps and then goes out, has a round in the gardens, and comes back in and disappears.
So can we see her?
Well, no, you have to be here at night for it is here, and then you have to take your chance. She doesn't come out every night.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And so, you see, the communal property was turned into, you see, the individual property with, you see, all its repercussions, and therefore there was a major cultural gap. And also, with that, you see, emerged also new new exploiters classes, like the landlords, the moneylenders. Those two important plinths of their, you see, economic, trade, cultural and social connotation. Of 1855, and your Birsa Munda uprising of 1895 to 1900. Now, Bihar, you see, I'm mostly confining to the Jharkhand area of Bihar because you see it is this part which was felt more intense in the villages which were originally settled. They were also called, you see, as Khutkatti villages. You see, on the basis of rotation, it used to rotate between one tribe and the other. And so, once you see it was made as private property, then these moneylenders, landlords, traders, liquor contractors, they started alienating the lands of the tribals in such a large scale that indebtedness, you see, which the moneylenders, etc., perpetuated on the tribals. So, the issue was basically agrarian. But then, in the method of mobilization had lot of ethnic content into it.
मिस्टर भसीन, ये वाइसरीगल लॉज ब्रिटिश के ज़माने में बनाया गया था. आज के संदर्भ में इसका क्या रेलेवेंस है?
आज के संदर्भ में जी सबसे पहली चीज़ तो है कि ये एक ऐसी इमारत है जो हिंदुस्तान में शायद एक इस प्रकार की बस एक ही इमारत है. और दूसरा है कि अब इसमें जो इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एडवांस स्टडी है ये अब इसमें हाउस्ड है. तो इनमें 3-4 चीज़ें इकट्ठी ही मेल ले लेती हैं. एक तो आर्किटेक्चरली it is an absolutely unique building. The second part is that it's sort of now with the institute, it is also has an additional relevance. फिर historically अगर जाएं तो इसी बिल्डिंग में जब जिस पीरियड में सरकार सिमले में होती थी, एक तरह से कह सकते थे कि समझ लीजिए कि सारे के सारे मोमेंटस डिसीजंस जो उस पीरियड के हुए वो इसी बिल्डिंग से या निकले या यहीं हुए.
आर्किटेक्चरली आप इसे यूनिक कैसे कहते हैं?
आर्किटेक्चरली है जी कि सबसे पहली चीज़ है जो ये स्टाइल ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर है, इसे बड़े लूजली एलिज़ाबेथन रेनेसांस कहते हैं. और to be more extend the thing a little further, what a neo-Elizabethan Renaissance. कि इसकी जो फॉर्म्स हैं जो एलिज़ाबेथन इंग्लैंड में 16th सेंचुरी में बनी थी, ज़्यादा जो इसकी आर्किटेक्चरल फॉर्म्स हैं और डेकोरेटिव फॉर्म्स हैं ये उस समय के वहाँ से लाए गए थे और ये एक तरह से उसी डिज़ाइन पे अब ये क्रिएट किए गए थे इस टाइम पे यहाँ पे.
तो इस तरह की जो कॉलोनियल स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं उनको आज आइदर हॉलीडे रिसोर्ट्स में कन्वर्ट किया जा रहा है या होटल्स, तो उसके बारे में आप क्या सोचते हैं?
सबसे पहली चीज़ है जी कि इसमें कोई शक नहीं है कि ये एक बिल्डिंग बहुत अच्छा होटल बनाएगी अगर सरफेस पे देखा जाए. पर दूसरी चीज़ है कि नंबर 1 कि जो इस बिल्डिंग का स्ट्रक्चर है और इसकी जो स्ट्रक्चरल स्ट्रेंथ्स और कैपेबिलिटीज़ हैं वो होटल की रिक्वायरमेंट्स ले सकती हैं कि नहीं. और इसमें एक पहले भी रिपोर्ट बड़ी डिटेल्ड सर्वे वगैरह हुआ था इन दी 80s जो इंटैक ने कंडक्ट किया था, और उसमें बड़ी कैटेगोरिकली कह दिया गया था कि नो एडिशनल प्लम्बिंग, नो एडिशनल आर्किटेक्चर electrical changes, and to minimize the pressure on the building. और वो अगर होटल में तो कभी हो नहीं सकता है. This is one thing, and the other thing is that institutions like the Institute of Advanced Study, these are institutions which are not built like कि भाई आज institute बना दी गई है, कल से function करने लग पड़ेगी. Institutions like this are established over decades, even centuries. And to disturb something like this, it seems fairly illogical. Okay, once you put something into a place, you should help it grow, not to try and repeatedly stifle its growth.
तो इस बिल्डिंग की जो प्रेजर्वेशन और रेस्टोरेशन का काम चल रहा है, वो आप मतलब थोड़ा उसके बारे में कुछ बताएंगे?
इस समय जी एक तो प्लानिंग कमीशन से काफ़ी बड़ी ग्रांट दी गई है, और अभी कुछ ही दिनों में इंटैक की तरफ से भी एक्सपर्ट्स आ रहे हैं, एंड होपफुली वी शुड बी एबल टू गेट समथिंग गोइंग एंड टू ट्राई एंड हार्मोनाइज इट एंड टू गो इन द सेंस ऑफ व्हाट वी रियली रिक्वायर एंड नॉट आई मीन अ स्लैप डैश एंड hurried way of doing things. We have to be very systematic now in this thing. That this is the structure of the building, this is the way we have to preserve it, not something like के यहाँ पे बर्मा ठीक है तो in the name of के एक फट्टा उधर ठोक दिया है. We have to be, I think, far more systematic now.
Can you talk about the fact when you were saying कि you know the legacy has to be preserved but it has to be adapted to modern?
हाँ कि अब एक चीज़ है ना कि अब जैसे it is no longer the Viceregal residence. That's, I mean, it's over. Now it is the institute as it is. So now यहाँ दो factors आ जाते हैं. एक तो building का कि as because it was designed to function in a totally different manner. Now the requirements are somewhat different. पर अब इसको कोशिश करनी है कि इन दोनों चीज़ों को जो एक तरह से लगेंगे कि ये बैलेंस नहीं खाते, इन दोनों को बैलेंस करने का और एक तरह से एक गोल्डन मीन निकालने का कि इंस्टीट्यूट का भी कोई काम डिस्टर्ब ना हो और साइमल्टेनियसली बिल्डिंग की भी प्रिजर्वेशन साथ साथ चले in conformity to the requirements of the institute. Sort of it's to preserve the intrinsic character of the building and yet not hamper the institute's working in any way.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.